welcome back to Blackburn Rovers, welcome back to Reviving Rovers. My name is Jack, and today, once again, no skit. I usually, because I work nights and then record the video, and then edit it and then render it while I'm sleeping during the day. Today I didn't do that, I went straight to bed, so it's a bit of a late recording. Woke up a bit later, I was like, alright, let's get it done. So, I don't even know if this video is going to be up on time. If I'm honest, if it is, then render time's good. Good. Today we are playing Birmingham City and our rivals Preston in the Championship, and it is the Championship where we have been playing and being undefeated, as you can see. Last episode we played Reading and Luton. We've played 3 games since then, 1 draw and 2 wins. We drew against Nottingham Forest in what was a fantastic comeback, if I'm honest. 2-0 down at half-time. Bradley Dack scored in the 69th minute, and then Ryan Brewster scoring with the last kick of the game, 94th minute, to equalise to make it 2-2, which is fantastic to see. We then beat QPR 3-2 away from home. Holtby, Rothwell and Brewster, once again, getting the goals in that game. They did have a late goal, but couldn't quite capitalise on it and get the equaliser there. And then we just played Huddersfield and we beat them 2-0. Quite comfortably, to be honest. Rothwell getting another one, his second of the season, and Holtby adding to his tally. So this is how the Championship is looking. Currently sitting in 7th, 2 points behind playoff teams, 6 points behind Leeds, who are top. We're doing alright. We're doing better than what I expected, if I'm honest. Much better than what I expected. There's the full table. So Swansea sitting at the bottom at the moment, which is surprising to say the least. And not really much surprise in terms of top 6, I would say. Maybe Brentford a bit of a surprise, but yeah, I could see that. We beat 4th place Hull 6-0. Remember that. Just remember that. Right, should we jump straight into a game? Shall we? I think we should. We're playing Birmingham City first. This is the team we are going to go with. Very familiar side. First 11 has kind of gelled quite quick, and it's settled quite quick as well. We're going to make Ryan Brewster advance forward. We're going Walton in goal. Bell. We usually have Cunningham, but we're going to give Cunningham a rest. He's played a lot of games. So Bell, Lenihan, Tossin and Venuti. Holtby, Longstaff, Rothwell, Dack, Armstrong and Brewster up front. Like I said, we did have a normal striker. Now we've got a winger playing up front, but Brewster's still scoring goals up front. So Rothwell's come in. He's a perfect start. He's starting to score goals as well on that left-hand side. Both his goals came after he accepted the contract, so clearly he just needed that little uplift in both pay and morale, and he's finally scoring goals, which is good to see. Armstrong's slacking a little, not slacking, but he's just gone down form-wise a little bit. Dax slowly, surely picking up goals, picking up assists, which is fantastic to see. And like I said, Brewster's just banging in the goals left, right and centre at the moment. So there's goals on this side, which is fantastic. Defending, not so much. One thing I like is Holtby's still scoring as well from that centre mid role, which is perfect. I think he's got like 6 from 11 now, I think it was. 6 goals from 11 games, so top boy, if you ask me. Top boy. I thought he'd be good, but I didn't think he'll score 6 from 11. I think it's 6 from 11 this season, but if he can keep it up, we get like 10, 15 goals this season. We should be. If we get a centre midfielder, he scored 10, 15 goals, as long as the front four keep on scoring, playoffs shouldn't be an impossibility, I would say. But we're half an hour in now, and it is a bit of a boring game. We had that one shot from Birmingham, but other than that, not much to really talk about, is there? Highlight, thank you. I was just running out of things to say. Rothwell whips in a ball. Lenihan's there. He leapt like an absolute tin of salmon, and Armstrong was offside, apparently. He hit the bar anyway, Lenihan. That was a fantastic jump from him. But unfortunately, didn't quite go in. That's a poor pass there from Venuti, I think it was. And the ball over the top to Jakutsic. Just wide. Game's starting to kick on a bit, but half-time slowly approaching. Good, approaching, and it is 0-0. We'll calmly say we're the better team here. We are the better team in terms of league table, and we're slightly dominating in terms of a lot of possession. We could have some better chances, some more clinical chances, but I'm happy with the way things are going at the moment. Hopefully we can get a goal nothing's really happening, is it? Oh, Holtby's injured. It's a good job we got centre midfielders on the bench I can trust. So Holtby's injured. What is it? Potential foot injury. That could be a broken foot, and that could be like 6 weeks out, which isn't great. Let's make some other substitutions. There's, like you were saying, nothing's really happening. Cunningham can come on because Bell's a bit shattered, and I would usually bring on my centre midfielder at this point and take Dak off because Dak's a bit tired, but we're going to take off Rothwell, put Brewster out on the wing, and then Danny Graham can come on. We'll swap Brewster and Armstrong around because Armstrong's a bit more of a left winger when Rothwell's not playing, because Rothwell's a bit more of a left winger as well than a right winger, but Armstrong can play on that right hand side, so it's perfectly fine. I think it's going to be a 0-0, if I'm honest. I could have pushed for it, but away from home, there's a chance here, though. Bradley Dack whips it in. A penalty, a last-minute penalty. Sunjic nudged Danny Graham. Now, if any Football Manager 19 goes to anything go by, usually miss last-minute penalties, but Danny Graham steps up and he slots it straight down the middle. I was just saying, we could have gone for it and probably picked up a win, but away from home, at this point in the season, I'm quite happy to take a point. But Danny Graham steps up to the spot, and we pick up what was looking like an unlikely 1-0 win. And Danny Graham's getting his first goal of the season, and that puts us up to 4th in the league as well. Well done, lads. That was perfect. We go on to Preston North End, who are having quite a terrible season, continuing our unbeaten run. Something that I wasn't expecting to say, but we're doing very well at the moment. All those fans at the start in episode 2 saying I was shit. Look, you got eggs on your face now, haven't you? You got eggs on your face. Right, we've just had the message about Brexit here, and it's, it says that we're gearing up to go into effect the 31st of the 12th, 2020. It looks like it's going to be a hard Brexit. It says formal details are yet to be confirmed, but reports suggest that from next season, players from the European Union will need to apply for work permits. So it doesn't look like there's going to be that 17 foreign player limit. It looks like it's going to be very much a hard Brexit, which I don't think I've ever had, if I'm honest. Very much a soft Brexit has mostly happened, like the 17 foreign player limit has mostly happened most of the time, especially on Football Manager 19. Obviously, this is my first save in 20, so I always assumed that had like I think there was 3 options, wasn't there? I can't remember which ones were which. There was the 17 foreign players, and then the work permit one, the very much hard Brexit one, and then another one which I assume it's just nothing changes. But I assume like the soft Brexit one always happens pretty much like 80% of the time, and then if you got really unlucky, you'd get one of the other 2. So I'm hoping this year they've kind of evened out the odds, so every save's still a bit different, because most you see on YouTube, most saves are soft Brexit, if you will. I'm just trying to look at the team here. Cunningham's going to come back in, and Elliot Bennett can drop to the bench. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. But yeah, I just find it interesting. I'm quite looking forward to a hard Brexit because, like I said, I've never had it before, so I don't really know how to expect it, if you will. Tyler, you can come in, lad. And Buckley can come in the bench. Because how do you go around it? Obviously, work permits. So it's just like, right, we've got to build an English team here. So should we start? That's another thing, like I said in the previous episodes, planning for the future. Do we just try and get some young English players in now? Or do we try and get the foreign players in now? Try and get them into some sort of British citizenship, I think it's like 3 years or 5 years in England, is it? To get British citizenship. But how quickly would the work permit lot get? So if we give a foreign player a 5-year contract, by the time that's ended, they'll be a British citizen, and then they'll get a work permit. Maybe I don't know. I'm not sure how how we really go about it, if I'm honest. But like I said, we haven't got there quite yet. No need to worry too much about it. All we need to worry about is this season and seeing what we can do. If we can get as close to playoffs as possible, spot on. But if a hard Brexit is coming in, you obviously want to be in the Premier League when it happens, because obviously you'd want as much money as possible to have a choice of more players, and obviously you get the most money possible in the Premier League, because like you finish bottom and you get like God knows like countless millions of pounds, whereas in the Championship you won't get as much. So I guess if it's a hard Brexit, the quicker we're in the Premier League and the quicker we're getting that TV money and sponsorship money, the better. Is what I'm trying to get at, I guess. We don't want to be spending too long in the Championship, and it might have just getting a hard Brexit might have just altered my plans for this Blackburn save, because I was quite ready to chill out for a couple of seasons. I was quite ready to go with what the board are saying and like get promoted in like 3 years' time. But now I'm thinking we kind of need to push as close to the playoffs as possible this season, and then look to get promoted. Definitely 100% get promoted next season. I know there was always that optimistic of mid-table this season, playoffs next season, and now I'm thinking kind of playoffs this season. Definitely, if we're not getting promoted in the playoffs, 100% promoted next season. It's throwing a spanner in the works. Obviously, if it was a 17 foreign player limit, if it was a very soft Brexit, we wouldn't have to worry about being in the Premier League as soon as possible, because we could just chill out. No need to worry. We can get into the Premier League and get as many foreign players, cheap foreign players, it'd be fine. But now we're going to have to concentrate on building our youth facilities and getting some very good, already established players for the first team, just in case something happens. It's all very interesting. It's all very much something that I like. That's why I like football. No game is the same. And so, like I said, I hope that the Brexits, the chances of getting a soft Brexit and whatnot, they're all evened out, if you will, to make the games even more diverse. Because like I said last season, Football Manager 19, it seemed like soft Brexit was very much 80%, 90% always going to happen. So fingers crossed they've sorted that out, because that'll be another thing that I would give a good thumbs up to Sports Draft. Just make things more diverse. We don't want games being the same, do we now? We don't want every YouTube save to be the same. We don't want every Twitch save to be the same. So for work permit limits, that means more English players. That means we're going to have to potentially get some players that maybe other people wouldn't sign, because people would sign in foreign players and whatnot. So be interesting this happens. If you're not watching the game, if you're just kind of cooking tea and listening to me around, we have started the Preston game. We are 68 minutes in, as Preston have just scored a penalty after Fanucci gave away the penalty. We're going to make some substitutions. It's a decent penalty. The ball hit the back of the net, and then the keeper dived, even though he's the other side of the goal. Interesting. Preston are on top here. We're going to make some substitutions, and we're going to change things up, because clearly things are not working out. Bradley Dack, perfect player to come off for Danny Graham, and we're going to go 2 up top. Danny Graham, be my target man, lad. Cunningham, come off because you're knackered. Vanucci, come off because you gave away the penalty and you're knackered. So we've got 2 new fresh fullbacks and a striker, and we're going to go attack him. For the last 20 minutes of the game, Danny Graham's going to come on. Hopefully, he can bag his second goal of the season. Show some passion, boys. People are anxious and furious. They're now fired up. We'd love to see it. 10 minutes to go. It looks like we're going to pick up our first loss in a while, and it's going to be against our rivals. Oh no, maybe I shouldn't have been talking about Brexit for so long. Away to Preston, rivals. This is our second rivals match this season, and we've lost both potentially. We played Blackpool, and we lost to them 1-0. and now we're playing Preston, and we could be about to lose to them 1-0. But there is a highlight. We could potentially be getting a goal here. Hopefully, Tyler McGlaw, the centre-back, pings on forward to Brewster. He's got miles of space, and he should have done better there. Hits the side netting. And it looks like we're going to lose our first game of the season. Our first game of the season, like we've been that good. Our first game in a while. I'm going to go full aggressive there. My worries of Brexit clearly translated into the players, and they got worried. And we've lost our first loss in 8 games. I'd have rather lost to Birmingham than to lose to Preston. But there you go. We aren't on a good unbeaten run. We'll take it. We just have to bounce back against 2 top teams, which is brilliant. Right. When should we come back? Derby and Swansea. I think we've had small gaps in between. I think we should go for a big gap. I think now. I think maybe a whole month's gap, and then come out for Derby and Swansea potentially, or we're playing Birmingham again so early. Boxing Day. Okay, fair enough. We'll come back for a combination of Derby and Swansea, or Swansea and Bristol City. Maybe even Wigan. One of those, 2 of those 4 games will come back for, obviously 2 together. So Wigan and Bristol City or Swansea or Derby. Simple as that. But we'll come back for a combination of those. And yeah, this is how the league tables look, and we're still doing very well. And fingers crossed we can bounce back in our month off, I guess you could say, in those games there. It's a very tough month, but fingers crossed we can pick up at least a couple of wins in there. A few draws will be sorted. Fingers crossed. If you did like that, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and I shall see you again in tomorrow's episode. Thank you very much for watching.